lot of people are saying that the HOH-itis has broken into the Big Brother house. Is there an HOH-itis outbreak, and does Monty have it? That remains to be seen. A more accurate report has reported that there is a different kind of virus in the house. We have a germ that is in the Big Brother house, and if we zoom in on the germ, you can see it for what it is. In other news, Spoiler Girl has been outed. Hill on Twitter has exposed Spoiler Girl as Jana Baker, a mommy blogger from LA who does live the lavish lifestyle that Spoiler Girl always claimed to have. Little did we know that she's not just a blogger, she is also a part-time Halloween haunted house character. That's all for the latest news in BB24. Alright, my quick thoughts on the Big Brother 24 live feeds. I'm having a bad hair day, I'm feeling a bit like Daniel. But anyway, there's been a lot of talk of Monty having HOH-itis online, mostly just because people don't like Monty right now, I guess. Everybody wants to villainize Monty this week. Interesting, isn't it? There was some dumbness to the conversation that Monty and Brittany had yesterday. Both of them kind of hurting their own game, talking for over an hour, almost 2 hours, I think. I only watched some of it, not gonna lie, because I cannot watch Brittany that often. I have to turn it off for a while and come back to it because Brittany is ridiculous. But Monty did have some problems with a lot of what Brittany was saying. The dumb part of Monty is it's just not ideal to completely dismiss a player that's left in the game. Completely dismissing Brittany as a player just isn't the smartest thing, even though Brittany deserves it because she put herself in that position. But Monty's never had that big of a social prowess to be able to pull off social moves like Joseph did and even Taylor now. Monty's always kind of been, more straightforward, more clear-cut in what he's doing. And also, Brittany was already targeting him anyway, so it's not like Monty damaged anything that wasn't already damaged with Brittany. Brittany, on the other hand, should have never even had this conversation because it accomplished nothing for her. All it did is make her feel worse, even though she's already the victim in her own mind. And this conversation between Monty and Brittany and Taylor also being there maybe hurt Taylor's game in the process because, she's supposed to be talking along with Brittany, and at some points during the conversation, she's kind of taking Monty's side, and rightfully so, especially when Monty brought up the whole Michael and Brittany using the racism as gameplay, sitting on the information for so long, and Brittany didn't really have good answers for that either.
Why in the hell did you and Michael not tell me and Taylor about Kyle during the week of Big Brochella? Why wait until Michael wins the power of veto, assuming that he's going to take you down from the block, and knowing that there could be a replacement nominee that could put us in jeopardy, to share that information with us? What was the thinking behind that? Because I really would love to get clarity on that situation, because that seems like another example of things that were discussed that were not discussed with Taylor and I, but were kept siloed with you and with Michael until it was beneficial to share the information.
But what this could do is it could make Brittany spiral even more than she was already going to do. I mean, this week she was going to spiral at some point. I think it's actually harder for her to spiral now, though, because Michael's not there for her to just yap and yap and yap to, completely spiraling the whole time. Maybe it's Taylor's turn to have to hear this all the time. I mean, Taylor has to comfort her all fucking day long as it is. But Brittany mostly now just has to cry alone because she doesn't have somebody to spiral for. But I would not be surprised if at some point this week she has a few spirals about if she should keep Alyssa over Taylor. Because that's what Brittany does, is go over every fucking scenario. But yeah, that conversation between Monty and Brittany that just went in circles and went on too long when both of them are safe this week was not good for either of their games. It showed that they both lack a social game, really, in my opinion. But I don't think Monty has HOH-itis. I think people are being a little bit ridiculous because they want to villainize Monty. I mean, Monty is doing what he thinks is best for his game. He's not being fucking cocky about it, I don't think. there's some arguments to be made. You know, people want to call him a misogynist because he has daddy issues, and he does. The way he talks about women and talks to women is a little weird, and you know, he has that incel energy. He does not know how to flirt with women. He comes off very awkward in his flirting maneuvers, we'll call it. And is it him choosing Turner over Taylor because, you know, that's what guys do in Big Brother? I guess that's what we chalk it up to. We saw this just last season. Xavier, Big D, Kylan all stuck together at the guys in the cookout. As for Brittany, though, I just don't even understand how anybody can even work with Brittany. How does somebody work with somebody who just constantly feels sorry for herself? What do you do with that? Like, Brittany just wants to be a victim all day long. How do you ally with that? I couldn't do it. It would be very difficult. Taylor's a trooper for continuing to do that. Not a whole lot more to talk about today. I mean, Monty did officially nominate Taylor as the renom. Alyssa thinks she's staying, and yesterday I talked about how Turner was kind of being walked all over for Monty because that's been his entire game. He's done nothing of his own volition. He just gets pushed into things. But yesterday he did have his own idea about keeping Alyssa because that's what Turner should want to do. Turner should want to keep Alyssa because it's best for his game because him and Alyssa have that connection. He could go to Alyssa and get a win by far if he goes to the end with Alyssa. Now, will Turner take the aggressive gameplay of trying to get Brittany to keep Alyssa? That's what we will need to see. It would surprise me because Turner does not have that kind of game so far this entire season. Will he really bring that out in the last week and a half? We'll see, I guess. So the plan is still for Brittany to vote out Alyssa. Turner keeps going back and forth. Turner does not want to vote out Alyssa. He's told Monty he would because that's the plan that Monty wants as HOH. We'll see. If it is a tie, though, Monty's just going to break the tie and Alyssa is going to go home. As it stands right now, that foursome also slept in the HOH bed together last night. Yeah. Brittany was the only one not at the sleepover. I'm surprised she has not spiraled about that yet. If and when that becomes a topic of conversation, we just wait for the Brittany spirals. I think that's just what I'm waiting for this week. But maybe she won't have them. Maybe she is actually feeling comfortable with Taylor. Taylor's been having good conversations with her. Like I said, Taylor is a trooper. She's been having the conversation she needs to have with Brittany. Maybe she can keep Brittany from spiraling, but that would be a very difficult job to do.